Hey guys, what's growing? It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. It's really cold out here. I'm in my garage. It is 36 degrees Fahrenheit. Even my mouth is cold. But is that like 3 degrees Celsius? I don't know. I can't do the math right now. I'm in my garage because I need to make 2 custom bouquets, and I just went out. It's raining heavily, but as you can imagine, it's very, very cold rain. I just went out to harvest so that I could complete these bouquets. They're only going to have 3 ingredients. A really pretty pittosporum called Silver Sheen is going to be my greenery. I have the apricot impression tulips from yesterday, and a whole bunch of daffodils to go in the bouquet as well. It's it's so cold out here. But the other reason we're in the garage is that I got a notice a couple days ago from UPS that I had something coming from Berbee, and I did not remember ordering anything. So the box arrived last night and it's here, and so I figured I would open it up. We could look and see what was in it, because I honestly do not remember what I ordered or even placing this order. I thought everything had arrived. So it's going to be a surprise. So let's see what's in this box. Okay, I had to go inside and change into warmer clothes because that the sweatshirt I was wearing under my rain jacket was damp because it's pouring so hard. And yeah, so I feel a little bit better now. Let's see what's in this box. I apologize if the camera shakes a little bit. You guys are on the same table as the box. All right. Oh, I think I know what this is now. Yes, I do. These are lilies. Okay, sorry, that lighting was terrible. So these are lilies. I'd totally forgotten that I ordered them. So these come in quantities of 25, and I got 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 125 in here. They come in these giant bags like this, and they're packed in there with some peat moss to keep them moist. I'm not ready to plant these yet, but I will put pictures here to show you what I got. I got an orange tiger, a stargazer, a lotus queen, which is a double oriental, a golden tycoon, which is an LA hybrid, and an eyeliner lily, which I actually really like these, and they haven't been available for a while, so I'm super excited I got them. Yeah, so this is great. I'm also really glad that there's no like live plants in here, because I thought, what if I had forgotten a live plant order and it's so cold outside and we're not gonna get much warmer anytime soon, and so that would be tough. I mean, I could put them in the greenhouse obviously, but it's harder to keep things, you know, if they're in plug trays, they kind of need to go in the ground pretty soon. So yeah. Okay, great. So these are lilies. They are going to go, last year I grew lilies in the 4x4 raised bed that's in the glass greenhouse. And which worked out great because they were kind of out of the way. They kept warm in there, which is what they want. I just watered them every day, and then we got a good harvest. And I also grew some of them in crates. These, it's the same thing. I'm going to grow as many of these as I can fit in the 4x4, and then I have a bunch of lily crates. They'll all be grown in the greenhouse, the glass greenhouse. That's mostly for warmth. And so, yeah, that's great. Don't you love my oh so glamorous flower studio with all the hanging bikes and the weight rack back here? Yep, this is what happens when you're a very small scale flower farm. You don't have any place great to work to do your designs. That's okay. Actually, it works great because it's nice and cold in here and the flowers stay fresher longer. Summertime is a little more tricky. I sometimes have to end up dragging everything into the house, which is definitely not ideal because it makes a mess when you make bouquets, whether it's market bouquets or designing in a vase. Speaking of vases, so I had a customer call this week with a question about my designing my custom bouquets. She was like, well, can I see some, what's available now? And I said, well, it's all out in the field. And she was like, oh, so you grow everything? And I said, yes. So the stuff I'm designing with is like whatever happens to be blooming at the time. So it's a little interesting because, when you normally go, like, let's say you go to 1-800-Flowers or whatever, you go to a florist, you could be like, I want that bouquet, and then they just make it for you. I don't have that ability because whatever I can make is what happens to be available to me in my field at the time, which is also unique. It means that the bouquets that my customers get were literally harvested either the day before or the same day, so they're going to get a long vase life, and that's what I hear from a lot of people. They lasted so long. Well, that's because they weren't shipped. They didn't come from South America, right? They were local. So to make my life easy, I have two vase types, two vase sizes. I have a medium and a large, and they're exactly the same vase, just a different size. So this is my medium size vase. I just buy these in bulk. Customer keeps them. They are tapered, so you can get a nice display. And then the large ones look exactly the same. They're just a little bit taller and wider, so you can fit more stems. I do have photographs on my website for the custom bouquets to show all the different ones that I've made over time, but it's not like people can go there and choose a specific one. So I had to explain that to this client. But once she understood that I was a grower as well, I think she was like, oh, wow, that's actually pretty cool. So she said, I just need you to promise me that whatever you make is going to be bright and sunny because I want it to be cheerful. It's a pick-me-up gift for someone. And so I was like, yeah, that's no problem. I mean, what's more cheerful than tulips and daffodils? So anyway, that's what we're going to be making today. So I think you guys have seen me make bouquets before, but everybody gets a vase, some flower food, some water. I'm going to use a little bit warmer water than I often use because these tulips are perfect, but I do want them to start to open just a little bit so that when the customer gets them, it doesn't look like a skimpy bouquet because, if you make a bouquet of all closed tulips, then it's going to look pretty skimpy till they open. The other thing about tulips is that they continue to grow in the vase. So when you're designing with tulips in a vase, you actually want to cut them shorter than everything else. And it's going to look funny at first, but while they're in that vase, they're going to continue to grow. And at some point, they're going to be taller than everything else in the vase. And that definitely looks weird. So just keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to go get these guys filled and then start putting these bouquets together. So I've gotten off to a good start with these arrangements, but now I need to put the daffodils in. And as I've said before, daffodils have a sap in their stems that will kill other flowers in the vase until that stem kind of heals over. So you can speed that process up, which I'm going to do here because I need to put them in the vase, by dipping the ends into boiling water. So this is a glass of water I literally just boiled. You can see the steam still coming off of it. So I'm going to take my daffodil stems, and actually this one is kind of the appropriate height, but it's still oozing. So I'm going to dip that in there just about 10 seconds, and that should do it. Now I can stick them in the vase. So I'm going to cut the rest of these, dip their stems, and stick them in the vase, and then we'll be done with these arrangements. Okay, so I think I'm done. It's so funny because I can't fit any more stems in these vases. They're jam-packed, but they don't look super full yet because they haven't opened all the way. So I always worry that customers are gonna be happy when they first get them. But this is the arrangement. They're both exactly the same. Some of them have a few more flower or a different, slightly different arrangement in terms of just how they're stuck in the vase, but they have the same flowers. This is a silver sheen pittosporum, apricot impression tulips, which are, again, in some places lower in the vase so that they continue to grow. Those are the ones in the middle. And then I have the pipit daffodils, and there's also unopened ones in here. I think, let me look, I think that might be Dalnatia maybe? Not positive. Anyway, yeah, so these are the arrangements. So now I just need to go make the cards for them. I have a friend who hand makes beautiful cards. She's a paper artist. And so I buy cards from her to use in my custom bouquets so that people don't just get a little postcard size, a business card size tag. They actually get a full-fledged card. So they can include longer messages if they like. So I'm gonna go get that stuff done and then go get these guys delivered. So one of the cool things about my car is that these vases, actually maybe it's more of the cool things about these vases, they're the perfect size to fit in the cup holder. So if I only have a couple to deliver, then I don't have to worry about them flying all over the place while I'm taking them out. But you can see how quickly some of these have opened just by being in here in a warm car. So yeah, they open real fast once they get warm. Wonder of wonders, there's an actual break in the rain. It's going to start dumping again pretty soon, but I wanted to show you guys the crazy part of our property that we never go to because it's not very accessible. Okay, I need to be careful walking down here. These are redwood trees. There's a bunch of them back here. They are very majestic indeed. And this is a slightly hidden stepping stone path. I have to be real careful because it's slippery and steep, and these stones are angled now instead of being flat steps. This shed was here when we moved in. It's broken and we don't really use it for anything. It stores a couple things that we never actually need to get hold of. It's got rats living in it, so anyway, this part of the ground is mostly underwater certain times of year, like the rainy season now, so you wouldn't want to store anything in here anyway. Yeah, this is just some old crap. Some of this stuff was already here when we got here, so we don't use it for anything. But the main reason I brought you down here was to give you a look at the creek. It's very pretty. And so this whole hillside here is part of our property, but it's not really usable because it is so steep. And in order to use it, we would have to terrace it and cut down a bunch of these trees, and we just don't really want to do that. However, all this ivy is actually kind of great. Well, it holds the hillside in place, which is one good thing, but I can also use it for for my floral work. Long strings of this is great to use in floral arches, things like that, and so I've just got a ready supply of it here. More views of the creek. Sounds so lovely, doesn't it? And then look, it just goes way there, and it's very wide down there. The whole thing used to be only, like 2 to 3 feet wide, but then last year, 2 years ago, when we had massive rain, it overflowed its banks in multiple places and then just became this very wide floodplain that exists now. So back in the greenhouse, yesterday everything got treated with fish emulsion and kelp, so it was pretty stinky in here yesterday, but all that smell has gone, that dissipates really rapidly. So some things that I started just last week are already starting to come up, and I have to plant a couple of seeds. When I put the stuff in the root trainers, I had the packet for the escalator zucchini was still in the house, so I'm going to pop those in there right now. But already some of the cucumbers have already started to come up. Take a look. So this is the tray of cucumbers. Actually, this is a sunflower right here. This is Gypsy Charmer. It's already coming up. Over here is Katrina cucumber. That's coming up. And nothing in here yet, which I wouldn't expect. Same thing with these peppers. Nothing yet. I have them under a humidity dome to hopefully help with some heat. But then over here, not under the lights, there's some stuff coming up that I need to start putting under lights, and I have no space. So already this guy's kind of on the edge. It needs to be closer to the light source there. This one, peppermint chard and stuff, it needs to go under lights. This is all romaine lettuce and stuff that needs to go under the lights. This is the marigold. Those need to go under the lights. I just don't have the space. This is more little gem lettuce and stuff down here. So what's currently under the lights is all the stuff for the flower farm, which is all looking great. But at this point, I need to take out all these lettuces back here, lettuces and bok choy and stuff like that. What is this tray here? Oh, xeranthemum, Chimchimney rudbeckia. Wow, that's really great. That's really great germination for rudbeckia, seriously. Usually I only get like a third of the seeds germinate. Wow. And then that's Rudbeckia Denver Daisy. So these guys are going to go out to the farm, but they probably still need some heat. Or not heat, but they need to be in, this greenhouse is a lot warmer. So some of this other stuff, I guess I'm going to try. So tomorrow is supposed to be partly sunny after the morning hours. So I'm going to go on and plant out these lettuces into the front garden because they can handle the cold enough, and I can cover them with a hoop and row covers, and at least that'll free up a little bit of space here. Some of these other ones obviously aren't big enough, but all of the sweet peas are all up there. Those are all going to go to the farm. I will probably I'll definitely take this succession of sunflowers to the farm. Probably this tray to the farm as well. They're all looking pretty good. These are dianthus and marigolds and stuff. Most of these are all going to the farm. So some of them can go. I just don't want to take the ones that still need a little bit of warmth because I'm keeping it around 55 degrees in here at night, and it won't be that warm in the greenhouse at the farm. So yeah, I got to make some judicious decisions. Okay, so the plan tomorrow is here at the house. Once the rain has stopped, I'm going to plant some stuff in the front garden, in the veg garden, and then after that, all the other stuff I'm going to bring out to the farm. That will free up some space. So here's what I'm planting up front. This is little gem lettuce, kind of crappy germination here. This is a mustard blend, but it looks really good. This is baby bok choy, and it's bolted, so I'm going to actually cut those off, so it will keep going. And then this is the Chinese pink celery, which I actually am excited about. That's going to go out front. This is terrible germination on Bells of Ireland, but that's okay. I'm going to still put those in the ground. This is xeranthemum, and then these are the rudbeckias, so those are going out to the farm. This is cress. This is also going to go out to the farm. This just needs to go in the ground because it's turning yellow because it is not getting enough nutrition, but there's two types of cress here. This is emerald beads, which looks beautiful, and this is Atraxa. And then I'm going to take out this other rudbeckia that's like a holdover from last year, and that succession of sunflowers. They won't all go in the ground right now, but they're going to come out to the farm. And then, of course, the 3 trays of sweet peas. So I did make a little bit of room then to be able to put everything that is germinated up here under the lights and down here under the lights. So I'm definitely not very happy with, so the gomphrena isn't, and the gomphrena and the celosia is not germinating well at all, and it could just be because it's cold. So I'm going to give it some more time. I am getting some germination, but just not a lot. It's the same here. This entire row is Gomphrena, and only a couple of them have germinated. So I don't know what's going on there. Oh, there's also some chard here. So I actually will pull out some of those squares right there. I'll just pull those out and put those in the front garden. Yeah, so any place that I have things that can go in the front, I'm going to go on and free up some space. But yeah, some things are doing great, other things not so much. Back there is all cosmos. That looks great. They're super tall. But this is echinacea, didn't germinate at all, not a single one. This right here is eucalyptus. That I plan. This always takes a long time to germinate, so they're just going to stay here, and it'll take as long as it takes. But yeah, so peppers are actually doing okay. These are the ones that I started before we went on our vacation, and I thought they all died, but they're looking fine. Seed coat is still on a few of them. That's fine. It comes off on its own. You can spray it, mist it with a little bit of water, or use a little bit of saliva, and the seed coat will fall off in the next day or so. That's not a big deal. Oh, and then the plants that I still need to put in pots that I got at the nursery, they're still in here. I fertilized them yesterday so that they would continue to look healthy, but these Calceolaria mexicana that are natives here are getting ready to bloom. I mean, it's so pretty. I don't even know if they'll show up on the camera as well. They are very bright yellow, very, very bright yellow. But both of them have those stalks. It's too bad I can't put them in a pot right now. It's just too cold. Not only is it too cold, but we're about to get, so we'll have tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of dry weather with sun. Thank God. It'll be windy. But then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, more rain. In fact, they're saying an atmospheric river, which is, that means a lot of rain. That means tremendous amounts of rain. So anything I put in the ground, I'm going to want to cover with row cover, just to keep it from getting pummeled and totally flattened, because that happens, especially with new seedlings. I mean, they're already floppy, like these Bells of Ireland, for example. These guys, though, are going to go in the high tunnel, so not a big deal. And I'll probably, when I plant these blocks in, I'm actually going to plant them deep, so they'll be sticking out of the ground only about that much. These stems will form some roots off of the stems that will give them more structure and support. But yeah, it's been a crazy, wet, cold winter. I am to the point now, tomorrow's March 1st, I need to start taking I need to take the silage tarp off of the north field. I'm still waiting on the soil test report to come back to see if I need to put any amendments down, but I need to take that silage tarp off, order in some compost, and start putting in just a 1-inch layer of compost that's treating the top of the bed very soon, because there's stuff in here that's going to go in those beds. And so it might, it's really hard to do that when it's dumping rain, because then the soil is like a mucky mess, and you collapse soil structure when you try to do that kind of work when it's just super, super wet. So it's going to be about finding the right time, and that's going to be challenging. However, I do have hope that those beds are going to be in great shape in terms of nutrition, because all of that biomass that we cut down in October has dissipated and been worked into the soil by earthworms and the other microbiology. So I think it's going to be really rich, beautiful soil. I mean, it looked like it when I put it in the bag to send to Logan Labs. So we'll see. With that said, I'm going to close out for now. I'm really excited tomorrow to get, do some actual planting. It's still going to be cold, but at least I'm going to get these greens in the ground. And the pink celery, I'm super excited about that. I hope that does well. I've literally never grown celery before, so new experiment. But I'm excited to get my hands in the dirt tomorrow. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.